Peace be with you. My name is Allan Keislar. Although I'm in the United States, I'm always thinking about Pakistan. I was a little surprised when the video suddenly started because I've been trying for several minutes to get the video going, and it wasn't going. At least 2 or 3, 4 minutes I've been waiting, and it just said live videos, live chats, live video starting, but it didn't start, and suddenly it started. So I was trying to show you the full moon, or maybe just the day after the full moon, because it was so beautiful. So I'm going to see if I can show this to you. It's right there. Maybe it's not visible. Oh yeah, there it is. You can see it now behind the trees right there. So it's a beautiful, beautiful, almost full moon. I guess it's just about full, maybe just after full moon, which is, of course, very beautiful, beautiful sight. And I was so happy to see it because I just, when I woke this morning, I got a very beautiful message, which was to begin doing Zikr. Begin doing Zikr every day with all of you, starting about an hour and a half after our live chat. So I think the live chat is 7:30 p.m. in Pakistan, so that means about 9 p.m. So I just wanted to ask you if that is a good time. And for me it's a good time, except when I have to go to work. Sometimes I work, in which case it would be impossible. But if I don't go to work, then I will have a live chat and do Zikr. And I was thinking maybe there's some way that we can make it more interactive, like a Zoom conference or something. I have done Zoom conferences, but only small ones, but I'll look into it. But in any case, please let me know if 9 p.m. Pakistan time, that is about an hour and a half from now, is a good time for you to do this Zikr session. And we will chant Allahu, Allahu. For several times, people have been saying, say Allahu, Allahu, Allahu. So I decided, yes, I will do that. That's a message I took from God. And of course I do by myself. And in the past I have done some live chats where I was doing Zikr. So I'm going to start it again, but it won't be so long. The last time I was doing 500 times Allah, 500 times Toini, 500 times Adonai, 500 times Ram, and 500 times Ikomkar. So we won't do it like that exactly, but we will at least start with Allahu, Allahu, and I don't know how long it will go on for, exactly how we will do it, but I just wanted to announce that I'm planning to start that. So I'm just looking at the comments here. Ahsan Ali says it's perfect time. Okay. Maria Alvi also says 9 p.m. sounds good. Most people are done with their official job and dinner. Kashif Ali says yes, please. Okay. So I'm going to do that then. I just want to say one other thing, that yesterday somebody sent me a message asking me, oh, what will we do if we have to go to the hospital if we're living in a village? There's no petrol or electricity, and we have to, and so I just replied, well, I don't know all these details. I only know we have to. It's absolutely essential. We establish self-sufficient village communities as soon as possible, certainly within 2 years. But later, it struck me, well, the answer is the same answer that is really already given. That is, we should live the way people lived 100 or 200 years ago in the villages. So what did they do? Well, they had Unani Hakims, right? They had herbal doctors who would treat them, and they were very expert, and we don't have to worry about having big hospitals and all sorts of electronic equipment. That's not necessary. So don't worry about it. If you don't have a car to rush to the hospital and you're in a village, we will trust in Allah. We should never be afraid of anything. Allah is in control of everything, and He's our best friend, so He will take care of us, and we don't need to worry. Okay, so Muhammad Hamza is asking, will you share it on Facebook? Yes, I will do a Facebook live chat, and we will have village. Excuse me, we will have our zikr. I just was reading Maria Alvi said, we can make self-sufficient smart villages with all necessary facilities. I'm not sure what you mean by smart villages. Yes, maybe. We can have the smartest villages are the villages where everybody does zikr together every evening. That's the real smart village. And village peoples has herbal knowledge of medicine, Muhammad Hamza says. Yes. So this is very, very nice. Shagufta Khan, can you interpret my dream? Should I send... No, I don't know dream interpretation. Never studied it, never know anything about it, really. My wife knows much more, and her sister knows. She has studied dream interpretation, but I don't know anything about it. And Babar says, I want to share a dream which I saw a few years ago. Okay, you can share that. You can either write it right now, and we can share it with everybody if you want, or if you want it private, then you can send me a personal message. So how long, Muhammad Hamza is asking, I don't know. I got a very clear message when I rose this morning. Actually, I was thinking about that question that one lady had asked me. I won't say her name in case she wanted to keep it private, but she said, what will we do? And she was obviously very worried about this idea of living in a village, and how could we get to a hospital? Would we have to go by horse or what? So we got the answer clear. I got the clear answer later. So that was crystal clear. So then, as I was thinking about her being worried about this, I thought, well, we need to do something so people won't be so worried, so people will be happy. And what is the best way to become free of worry and for anxiety? And the best way to become happy is zikr. So we will start at 9 p.m. Pakistan time, and I will start doing it every day, inshaAllah, as long as I'm not working or some other thing doesn't come up that I have to do. That will be 8 a.m. here, so that's a good time for me usually too. Okay, Komal Yunus says, Sir, I am a student of chemistry, and today I asked my friend to listen you. Thank you very much. I do remember that you had said, please pray, and then I said, well, what kind of prayer you want? And you said, pray that everyone will be happy. So that's very good to pray, but doesn't mean materially happy. Most people think happiness means in this world. No, that's not real happiness. Happiness and distress come and go in this world. Everyone has happiness for some time and then has problems and anxieties for some time and sadness. So that kind of happiness we don't pray for, but spiritual happiness, deep happiness of being with Allah, feeling the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with us. That is real happiness. So zikr is real happiness. So I really appreciate Komal Yunus. You're always making good comments and questions, so thank you. And thank you so much for asking a friend to listen to me. That's the way this message will spread. Some people have been asking, how can we spread your message? So just share it. Then Sharufta Khan says, how long that period of calamity will take? I don't know. To end, I don't know how long it will last. I'm not a prophet or some divinity that I know everything. I'm just a human being, and I make mistakes. Only difference, Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, has told me plainly that if you make mistakes, I will correct you. Maybe not immediately, but within weeks or months or whenever. So he has told me. Otherwise, I make mistakes, so I don't know so many things. So I have no idea how long that calamity period will take. I have not been told how long it will last till it ends. But what I understand very clearly is we should not expect it to be a short time. We should be prepared that if the grid goes down, if there's no electricity or petrol available, we can live happily and calmly and peacefully and safely in a village. So let it go on forever. It doesn't matter. The period of calamity is not so much it's not a war. I've been told that very clearly. It's not a nuclear war, which it was going to be. That was what was written in the destiny of humanity, that there would be a nuclear war. But by the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that has changed. There is not going to be a calamity of nuclear holocaust, which we deserve, we should have had, but by the mercy of God and by the prayers of sincere people of all religions, that has been prevented by the sincere prayers and good works. Good works means being kind and loving to other people, and it means fasting and doing, periods of austerity as part of the prayer, and being. Anyway, the main thing is prayer and kindness. Those two things have changed the world war. But something is going to happen. I've been told something will happen, which we need to prepare for, because it's possible that the electric grid will go down. And how will we live if electricity suddenly is off, not for a week or a month, but let's plan for it to never come back. It may or may not come back, but we don't want it to come back, because this whole electric grid is a control system. It's actually part of a mind control system. So it doesn't matter. But we will be free of that Dajjali mind control grid when the electric grid goes down and all electronics are fried by a solar flare, or I don't know what's going to happen, something like that. So we should be happy, not afraid. Like that lady was afraid, oh, what will happen? We will be living in a village, and how will we get to a hospital? So don't be afraid. So don't worry, be happy. This period of calamity is actually a blessing of God. It's not something we should try to avoid. We should be happy it's coming. Just like death. Most people try to avoid death. But we should be happy when death comes, because it means we're going back to God. So people are afraid because they don't want to die. They're afraid of the pandemic or virus or this or that because they don't want to die. But if we want to die, we're happy to die, because it simply means being born into the next world, going to God. Then what is the problem? So no need for any fear, no need for any anxiety. Allah is great. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. We say it all the time. God is great, but He is the greatest. More great than we can possibly imagine. So He is going to protect us as long as we are sincerely trying to serve Him and to call on His name for help and guidance. And He definitely will give us help and guidance. Hassan Ali says, what are your thoughts on human evolution? Well, I don't believe in Darwinian evolution, which is absurd. It's impossible. Mathematically, totally impossible, the Darwinian idea of evolution. Without any intelligent guidance that the molecular random combinations could have led to the evolution of different species of life is totally impossible. Back in the 1950s, I remember when I was a child, actually, I was a little older, but there was a book written in the 1950s by a French mathematician. I can't remember the names right now, but when I was in school, before I went to college, definitely, I may have been 15 years old or so it would have been in the early 1960s. I read this book, and I became convinced that Darwinian evolution is totally impossible mathematically, and I never changed my mind since then. And when I went to college and I had professors who were teaching Darwinian evolution, and all the other students, oh, it must be true, the professor says so, I challenged him. I always said, no, that's impossible. And if he would sometimes become angry at me because students didn't usually speak to him like this. So, but then I just started talking more loudly to him too. I never was convinced of Darwinian evolution. Even as a child or a youth, I realized it's impossible. So human evolution doesn't mean Darwinian evolution. The development of humanity is by a different process. It's all by intelligent guidance. Hafiz Abdul Manan Majid says, Assalamu alaikum Baba Jan, please pray for me. I want to be a true lover of Muhammad. Please, and I love you so much, Baba Jan. I certainly pray for everyone that we will all become true lovers of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yes, let us all pray for each other. That is our perfection of life. If we just can love the Holy Prophet with sincere desire to serve him, then certainly our lives are successful. Goma Yunus says, thank you so much. I will try my best, inshaAllah. Thank you. Hafiz Abdul Manan Najid says, please tell me any Durood Pak which I pray every time. I have said many hundreds of times. I'm very happy to say it again. The Durood Sharif Ibrahimi, which we say in namaz, that is the Durood Pak I pray every day, not only in namaz, but at least in namaz and when I do other prayers. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ala Muhammadin kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ala Ibrahim innaka Hamidun Majid. Allahumma barak ala Muhammadin wa ala ala Muhammadin kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ala Ibrahim innaka Hamidun Majid. I always laugh and smile when I say that because I think Pakistan. Al Muhammadin means Pakistan, and what is wonderful, wonderful place, chosen land, where people will gather and establish pure Islam, love, truth, justice, morality. So I always remember Pakistan, and then I even laugh more today. Just now I was laughing when I said Al Ibrahim, and people forget this. Muslims pray Al Ibrahim, you don't realize that means Israel. So Muslims are also praying Israel every day. So we should pray that Israel will become the true Israel, not this fake Israel of today, which is a Zionist, satanic way they're treating the Palestinians is the most horrible. So therefore, because it's the most horrible, it will become the best. It's like Pakistan was considered the lowest, most degraded center of terrorism. So much corruption, right? That's the image of Pakistan people had. Therefore, Pakistan will become the most pure, uncorrupt, least terror in the world. And pure truth and justice and love will be established. So this is the durood that I pray regularly. Maria Alvi, Babaji, 2023 is a very tight deadline for self-sustaining villages from scratch. It's longer. From self-sustaining villages. Even if your message reaches our corrupt politician, they won't take it seriously. They are not able to manage the already built cities. How can they put efforts to build self-sustaining villages? We're not depending on the politicians. I'm not, certainly not the corrupt politicians. We may appeal to someone like Imran Khan, who's not corrupt, to help, and he may or may not, but we're not appealing to politicians. I am appealing to you. This is a request, you can say, instruction from the Holy Prophet Muhammad. It's not from me. He gave me this instruction, and he is now, even right now, at this very moment, he is present, and he is telling me, yes, tell them this is my instruction to you. It's not to any politician. You do it. You talk with your friends, with your family members, and you will find somebody else who's interested. Just like it happened to me. I was shocked. I went to see a friend a week or two ago, and I told him this, and he said, my uncle. He's a fairly young man, so his uncle's not that old. His uncle wants to retire and go and establish a self-sufficient village community. And he has a farm here, just a few miles away from Esparto woodland here. So he's not here right now, but I will be working with him, inshallah. So there are people there who will help you. You don't need to worry about politicians. Just start talking. Talk with some friends, and you'll find somebody else who's also interested. And then go to a village and meet villagers. I already did this in Pakistan, actually many years ago in Tanabola Khan, because I was living in Karachi at that time. And I thought, I also went to Thatta area. It was near the town of Thatta. What is that? Anyway, I can't remember. It wasn't far from Makli, famous big medieval place where there's a big necropolis. Very interested I was even then. I'm talking about, 20 years ago maybe, that I went to these places? Yeah. I was looking even then, or 25 years ago. I had the same idea. So I was living in Karachi, and I just spoke to some friends, and they agreed, let us go and look for land where we might be able to start a self-sufficient village. It didn't work out then. for whatever reason. The time wasn't right, but this is something I've been dreaming about for a long time. So I did have friends who were interested, and I will try contacting them again. But look for some place wherever you live in a city. If you live in a village already, then it'll be much easier just to talk with some people and just set aside one plot of land. Find somebody who will help you, where you will grow the fruit using oxen to plow the field, using, if you're in the desert, camels to bring up the water from underground. Already, right now, there are places like that. I've seen it myself. They don't have electricity in many villages still in Pakistan, certainly in my childhood. So it's not, it's already there in some places. So don't imagine it's going to be such a big effort to build sustaining villages from scratch. Some of them are already there. And if they're not self-sustaining, then we can make them self-sustaining by just getting water and food. And then cotton, so many places there's cotton, so we can make our own clothes, we can spin our own thread, and we can weave our own cloth. It's not only food, it's everything, self-sufficiency, so we learn to make our own clothing, and have our own oil, to have our own lamps, and mustard also. I lived in Rai Wind when I was a child. Rai means mustards, so there were a lot of mustard fields as well as cotton fields there. So you can use mustard oil too for so many things. It's very good, healthy. So everything is there in the villages, everything we need. So if you don't have a village, if you live in a city, then get together with some friends and look for some nearby village where you can go and encourage people to work with you to help start a self-sustaining program. And don't be worried. Everyone's so worried about this. I'm so upset. This is why I decided to start this Zikr, because everyone is worried. Oh no, this is calamity. Oh no. No, we should be happy. Village life is very peaceful. It's very pleasant. It's so happily to live here in Esparto. We're not worried about things that people in cities are always worried about. So live in your city. If you're living in the city, that's okay. Don't have to run away immediately. But take some trips out into the countryside, find some village. And if you can't find any village where people are willing to work with you on this, then find some land and start it. That will be a little harder to start from complete scratch. Yes, that would take more time. But try to find a village that's already there and befriend some people and try to encourage them to set aside some land, not the whole village, just set aside some piece of land, some small area where we can start doing self-sufficient farming, growing cotton, having sheep to get the wool and then wool clothing, and grow castor beans, especially for oil. The best is castor oil for lamps and things. So everything is available. It's not hard. It's not a big anxiety. It's actually a very pleasant life. So don't think it's going to be a huge effort and we have to go to corrupt politicians. No, we will do it ourselves. We don't need to depend on any politicians. Muhammad Hamza says, I saw a dream that I am in the area where Prophet Muhammad is living, in Masjid-i-Nabawi, and I saw that all these Sahabas are laying there, and I opened the grave of 2 Sahabas, and one awakened, and he said to me something, but I cannot able to hear. But he was not angry. And then I opened the grave of Prophet Muhammad, but he was not in it. And I cried, Anna, said, I want to see him physically, not in dream. And I awoke. Please tell me, what is it? Well, it's very wonderful that you were dreaming about Medina Munawwara and the Sahabas there. And so I'm not a dream interpreter. I don't know how to interpret dreams, but I just say you're very fortunate you're thinking about Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. So that's why, but he gave you more encouragement. He encouraged you. So be happy about that. And keep praying and keep serving and keep doing zikr. And I'm telling you one secret that I learned it many, many years ago as a youth. And I've done it from time to time. Before you go to sleep, especially the instruction I was given, wear a clean cloth, clean sheets, and pray and think of, if it's a holy prophet you want to come into your dream, then think about him or pray to him. And in that state of mind, you will more likely to have a dream of that personality. Not only Holy Prophet, anyone you want to contact that way. It's possible. So I've done it myself, and it's worked. Not all the time, but sometimes. So if you want to, I can't answer your question, but maybe he will answer. Faisal Khan, what do you do for a living? Well, I'm a substitute teacher now. I was a professor for many years. I taught in universities, but now I'm retired from that, and I'm still doing some teaching in the local schools. Just like 2 or 3 days ago, I had to end my chat quickly. Right in the middle of my chat, actually, I got a text message saying, can you come and teach in the 2nd grade, teach the little children by the internet, because the schools are not open here, they're closed. So we're doing the teaching by internet, but still. So that's my profession. Asalia Khanum says, Assalamu alaikum, sir. Have you heard the news of starting a train between Turkey and Pakistan? Yes, I heard that. That's very wonderful. Actually, that Imran Khan is a very intelligent man. And this should have been done long ago. I remember back in Ayub Khan's time, I was living in Pakistan in the 1950s and 1960s. And at that time, there was a plan also. There was a RCD, Regional Cooperation and Development, between Pakistan, Iran, and Turkey. And that program was there. So they should have started a train at that time, but it's very good. They're doing it now. Maria Alvi says, I have no doubt that this is Holy Prophet ﷺ's instruction. May Allah give us the strength. I hope we won't disappoint him. Thank you very much. This is a very, very important program, essential program. And it's not so difficult. Don't think it's so difficult, because we will be helped. We will, just like suddenly that man showed up. I was going to talk to a friend, and he said his uncle wants to do the very same thing. So we will work together. So we will get help. Don't worry. Thank you for your good encouragement. Muhammad Hamza says, have you met with ETs when you went to Makli Qabristan? Because I have heard from a Sufi that they usually come there and may be living there. I did not meet any ETs in Makli, but I did go there more than once. But yes, I went there because I was looking for land in the Tatta area to start a self-sufficient village community. Muhammad Hamza, I am not worried. I want to live in jungles. Oh, far away from humans, but I can't do this. You don't have to be far away from humans, or you don't have to live in jungles, but do live, or even if you don't want to live, you live in a city if you want to, but start right now, immediately, talking with friends and relatives and start developing, looking for a place in the countryside where you can grow your own food and cotton, clothing, oil, self-sufficient village community. Doesn't need to be in the jungle or far away from humans. Better not to be far away from humans. Be with good humans. Be far away from the satanic humans who are mostly controlling the cities, corrupt politicians. Hafiz Abdul Manan Majid says, when will you start Mahfil Zikr, Babajan? Tomorrow. Actually, I could even do it today, I guess, but okay, I'll do it today at, what time is it now? 9 p.m. in Pakistan. 1 hour from now, I will do a zikr. Yes, I'll go ahead and do it. I should have warned my wife that I'll be doing it, but I'll do it. We'll start today. Thank you. Why delay when something is so wonderful and everyone is responding so enthusiastically to do it at 9 o'clock? We will do it. 9 p.m. Pakistan time. That's 8 a.m. here in California. Okay, may Allah bless you and give my salam to Prophet Muhammad. Peace be upon him. I have said many, many times, don't ask me to give your salams to Prophet Muhammad. Give them to him yourself. If you say salam, he will hear your salam. You don't have to ask me to give your salam to him. Komal Yunus says, sir, there must be strong counseling of the students. They have very great ideas, alhamdulillah. Thank you very much. Yes. Muhammad Hamza says, my friend don't understand me. In fact, they says me mad. Yes, many people said me mad. Literally, they think that way. Not only friends, but some of my relatives also. When I said, oh, I can't talk about it, but I was saying to some of my high school classmates, because we have a regular, every month, my high school classmates and I have a Zoom conference. So in one of those Zoom conferences, I was saying something about the election in the United States. And one of my classmates said, you need to go to therapy. You're mentally ill to have such ideas. So we should not be disturbed if people say we're mad. Maybe we are. We want to be mad after God. That's the real goal of madness. That's the real thing. Madness is just a symbol of the true madness, which is mad after God. Okay, so we want to be happy, and we will do that by having zikr. So, all right, just an hour from now, we will have, I don't know how long it will go on, but we will do at least Allahu, Allahu, and probably we will also have Toini, Toini, and maybe Adonai Ram or Ikomkar. I don't know how much we'll do. We'll start with Allahu, and Toini is my special name of God, the most extremely too merciful God. Okay. One or two more comments we'll read. Shagufta Khan says, I shared your video to my siblings. They said you are quite free. Okay. And Maria Alvi says, Babaji, please tell us how you met Mother Carolina sometime. I was surprised to learn then you both got married in 2011. I have told this story many times, and I'm happy to tell a real quick version now, because we will be meeting again in an hour, so I have some other things I have to do before then. So I was planning to go to a conference. I won't go into all the details. And this conference was in New Mexico, organized by Native American spiritual teachers. And I was actually going to take my daughter with me, because I thought that some spiritual leaders I have a cousin who has some problems, and his mother, my sister, took him to a Native American medicine woman, they call them, spiritual healer, and she helped him. So I thought, let me take my daughter, who is having some difficulty, to some Native American spiritual leaders or teachers or medicine people. They may help her. Then at the last moment, she decided not to go. She had agreed to go, and then at the last moment, she decided not to go. So I was going to cancel that trip. I actually went on my computer, and I was just about to cancel the reservations when I heard a voice. I hear voices. That's why some of my relatives think I'm crazy. I heard a voice which said, read 2 books. I heard it very clearly. So there were 2 books lying there on my desk. So I opened the first one. It was a Sanskrit scripture called Isha Upanishad. And I opened, by mistake I thought, towards the back, where was the Sanskrit pronunciation guide. I said, oh, I made a mistake. I should not have opened at the back. I should have opened somewhere in the middle where there would be some message. So I flipped the book over. I just turned it over and put it down, and I took the other book. And the other book, I opened it randomly, and it said right there, I had to go to the meeting for the service of my spiritual teacher. So I said, this is a very clear message. I have to go to that meeting. I was about to cancel it. So I said, okay, I will go. And then I thought, oh, what was in that first book? So I turned it back over, and I remember exactly where my eyes had fallen on that page. I didn't actually read it before, but I remember exactly on the right side of the page, a third of the way down, or halfway or 400 down. And then I read what it was there, and it said, the Sanskrit letter ya is pronounced like the Y in the English word yes. Yes. So I thought, yes, okay, yes, I'm supposed to go to that meeting. So I did not cancel my reservation. I canceled my daughter's, but I went myself. And when I went to the meeting, anyway, this is a long story, but again, long drive. It was like almost 24 hours drive, and I only stopped once for a short time, 20 minutes, and one more stop I did, and I rested for an hour maybe. So I was very exhausted when I got there. So I took a shower after checking in to the conference in my motel room. I took a shower, and then I was going to go to sleep. I was totally exhausted, and I heard a voice saying, don't go to sleep now, go down to the main conference room. Oh, I was very tired by that. Oh, well, anyway, let me go down, see what's down there. So I went down to the main conference room, and there were two women playing drums and rattles and singing in a language I'd never heard. And anyway, to make a long story short, then they invited me to join them, and one of the ladies then handed me a rattle first, and then she gave me a drum to play along with them and sing. Well, I was just singing however I could, and it became ecstatic. It became one of the most profound spiritual experiences of my life. And it went on for hours, and it became more and more joyful and ecstatic, and more people came, and they just were attracted. They came, and many people started dancing too, in ecstasy. They started singing, and it was quite amazing. So the next morning, which was the first day of the conference, she was not the first, but I think she was the second or third speaker. And I'm going into more detail now than I was planning to, but anyway, she came right up to me. I was like in the the first two rows I think were reserved for the speakers and special guests. So I sat up as front as I could, the third row. She left the the platform where she was speaking and the podium, and she came right up to the audience and looked right at me and said, "You may meet your soulmate in this conference." I was shocked. I didn't believe in soulmates, actually. I didn't like this idea of soulmates because I saw so many people. They think, "Oh, this is my soulmate," and then they fall in love and get married, and then they have so many problems. So I didn't believe in soulmates. So I actually got a little angry at her for saying that to me, because maybe I thought in my heart maybe it's true, and I didn't like the idea. I had been separated from my first wife, so I was not with anyone, but anyway, this is a long story. Again, to make it short, several people, right after that lady had spoken, or in the next break, I guess, I went up. There was a Native American spiritual teacher there, and I went up to, because the reason I'd gone to the conference was originally to meet these Native American spiritual teachers, so I thought maybe he will give me some instruction. So as I walked up, I sat there for a while, and then suddenly he turned to me, and there was a young woman sitting next to me, standing. We were standing, and he said to us, "You two have to talk." I said, "Okay, I don't know what this is about." So anyway, then, there was one other thing happened also. Just after that, an elderly lady came up. I guess she's maybe was as old as I am now, about. And she said, "I have been a spiritual teacher for 50 years, and I have thousands of disciples, followers, and I always tell them they must purify their hearts. And simply by listening to your music, you and Grandmother Kalali," was the name of that lady. I didn't even know her name, who had handed me the drum the previous night. She said, "Your music, you and Grandmother Kalali's music exploded all the shackles on my heart. And I feel completely pure and peaceful now. So will you she was going to speak the next day. She said, "Will you and Grandmother Kalali please take the first 15 minutes of my time tomorrow morning, because I want everyone in this conference to get the benefit that I got last night." So I was not at all surprised that she felt that way, because I also had a tremendous spiritual upliftment and purity and ecstasy in that singing and drumming. So I said, "Okay, I will have to ask her." She thought I was with Grandmother Kalali, and so I said, "Okay, I will have to ask her." So I had to look for her, and then I told her this lady had said this, and she said, "Okay, we'll do it tomorrow morning." So in that way, we met and began talking, and then she was also a presenter. In fact, she was presenting that same first day. So then everyone who was a speaker or presenter, they also had a optional session. Anyone could attend for, I think it was $20 or $25. You could pay that session, not private, but with whoever wanted to come, 10 or 20, 30 people. So I went to her private session after hearing her public presentation, and I paid my money and went, and then everyone was waiting for her to come, and then a lady came up to me and said, Grandmother Kalali has not shown up yet. Can you please, because that person had seen me with her singing before, she said, will you please stand here at the door and collect $25 from everyone who comes, who wants to come in, and some people have already paid, they will have the receipt. And so I said, okay. So I collected the money for her, and then, again, there are many more details I'm leaving out, but then I had to look for her to give her the money. She never showed up. She didn't come to the meeting. So then I had to look for her. I couldn't find her. But then I felt very, very clearly in my heart that this Grandmother Kalali is your soulmate. I didn't know what it meant. But, one other thing happened. That the next day, that evening, that same evening, there was another Native American, actually Hawaiian spiritual teacher who did a guided meditation. And again, so many details I have to leave out, but very briefly, he said, pray and meditate, and your grandparents will give you some guidance. So I joined that meditation, and I actually saw my grandparents, all four of my grandparents, who were very, very happy. They were like dancing, literally. They were dancing in joy because I had come to this conference and I had met Grandmother Kalali. So I had already gotten this idea now. Or maybe I got those two backwards. But anyway, two things happened. That afternoon when I couldn't find her, that's right, when I couldn't find her, I felt I have to pray about this and meditate what is happening here. So I went off for an hour and a half, I just took a long walk down. There was a small river there where the conference was held. So I went down the bank of the river, walked off a long way and prayed. And then I heard a clear voice, just serve Kalali. Those exact words, just serve Kalali. So Kalali is the name of my wife, that she was known by then, her Native American spiritual name, Grandmother Kalali. So when all this happened, then, we talked naturally, and I was thinking she's my soulmate. I'm going to be with her eternally. She wasn't so impressed with me, I guess, and she left before I did, and she didn't give me her phone number anyway to contact her or anything. So anyway, then I was able to, through the conference website, I was able to trace out that she had a blog on American medicine, what is it called? Medicine Blanket. She had a blog, so through that blog I was able to contact her. So that's how we met. So thank you for that question. Okay, Abdul Ghafoor says, Assalamu alaikum, my dear friend. Abdul Ghafoor Saib is the gentleman who came with his wife to Esparto and met my wife and myself. He says, I am in Pakistan, sir. Are your Breed Frontier? I am coming back on 6th of March. Oh, so just very soon, in a week or so, you'll be coming here. Look forward to seeing you. Very happy to have you coming back from the land of the pure to the land of hell. But we will try to make America a land of pure also. We will try to make the whole world Pakistan. Babar says, how I convince my father to go back our village. Don't try to convince anyone of anything. Just talk with him and say that you have had this idea, you think it's a good idea, and you would like to work on developing a self-sufficient village community, and see. Don't try to convince. You can't convince people. You can only talk with them, and if they are interested, then you can pursue the idea. Sayyid Yasir Yasin says, what is the mantra for waking up early? I've tried numerous ways but never succeeded. Go to sleep early. If you want to wake up early, go to sleep early. Or have an alarm clock. Fawad Khan says, feel so happy to see in live chats, sir. Missed your live chats. Your spiritual talks give lots of peace to me, and I'm sure to many more as well. You're right. One should always be thankful to Allah Almighty, always. Thank you, yes. Muhammad Hamza, do you have 2 wives? I had a former wife by whom I had 3 children, and now I was separated from her, and now I have a second wife, yes. So I never had 2 wives at the same time, but I have now with my second wife, grandmother Kalali, Carol Fatima. She is my second wife, yes. Babur says, how I convinced my father to go to, oh, you already asked that. So Salih Khanum says, how would we ever have a chance to hear that music? Well, we did make some videos, actually. A few years ago, Khalili Fatima and I did make some videos in which she sang like that. So you can look, it's on my Facebook page some years ago. I don't know how to find it, but you can look for it. It's there. Muhammad Hamza says, I was thinking about the idea of soulmates yesterday. Well, I now believe in soulmates. I do believe that she is my soulmate, but soulmate is not what people think. Soulmate's, oh, somebody you will fall in love with and have wonderful life with. No, that's not what soulmate means. Just the opposite. Soulmate means somebody who you will learn a lot of good lessons from. And maybe a very difficult life. There may be a lot of challenges. So don't think soulmate means somebody, oh, you'll just meet this beautiful woman and fall in love and live happily forever after. No. Soulmate means, and maybe more than one soulmate too. We don't have only one soulmate. There are soul groups, 15 or 20 people even in a soulmate group. But soulmates are people who will help you spiritually. And often it's not at all the idea people have of falling in love, but there will be a lot of conflict and difficulties through which you will learn. They will help you learn spiritual lessons. That's a soulmate. Muhammad Hamza says, and I also said to my friends that we are all married before coming to this world. Well, like I said, for me, soulmate does not mean somebody you marry. Soulmate means somebody you have a deep spiritual connection with, from whom you will learn lessons and to whom you can teach lessons, usually through suffering and difficulty, not through happiness. So I have a very different idea about soulmates than you do. That's the soulmate idea I had before, which I did not like. I never liked that idea, because I see almost everyone, you can ask any married person, married life is not happy. Some happiness is there, but a lot of struggle and compromise and suffering and learning a lot of lessons through the difficulties in marriage. But so change your idea now before it's too late. Don't expect you're going to meet a soulmate and get married, fall in love, and be happy forever after. No, that's an illusion. Maria Albi says, it's a beautiful story. Thank you so much for telling it. Sir, I want to start meditation. Please guide me how to. Well, we will do it in 40 minutes from now. We will start meditation, doing Zikr. I do silent meditation also, but I prefer Zikr meditation. Okay, thank you all very much. We will see you in 40 minutes, inshaAllah. Allah Hafiz. May God protect us all.